Hey there guys, how are you? So before you get confused as to why I'm playing Monster Hunter, don't worry, this is just, the background. I thought why not make it a bit interesting so you guys can watch me, slay the final boss of Monster Hunter World, a game that I've recently become quite addicted to. I know it's like a year old, but yeah, I mean, I just got it and yeah, I love it so much. So yeah, watch me slay this awesome beast as I talk about the Disney live action remakes. So it is indeed the year for remakes, reboots, redos, copy and pasting, whatever you want to call it. We've seen a ton of reboots ranging from classics to absolute atrocities in hopes of revitalizing the past failures. And an example of a successful reboot would definitely be the Planet of the Apes trilogy. And somehow they took this franchise and made each sequel better than the other, and in my opinion, it is in fact an A plus trilogy. Now, here are examples of a few failed reboots, like Fantastic Four or Fantastic. But let's be honest, the original films were trash too. And next up is Michael Bay's freaking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Robocop, Godzilla 1998, The Wicker Man starring Nicolas Cage, and etc. etc. You get the point. Reboots are no doubt an easy way to cash in on your rights of the material, but the thing is, I really don't care if you want to be remaking movies for years or decades to come, even recycling and reusing existing materials. All I'm asking for is that you put in some sort of effort and care into the project and actually make it good. But sadly, we live in a world where all studios care about are stealing our hard earned money to continue producing garbage because they know for a fact that people will pay to watch their shitty, mediocre remakes. And it really is incredibly insulting how you can take such good source material at times and just screw it up for the sake of making money. And a great example would be the recent Hellboy release. And I talked a lot of shit in my review of the film, and I got a lot of dislikes and a lot of people defending that utter atrocity. And this really tells you the state of what audiences expect from films these days, and it really is terrifying and disappointing at the same time. Disney's live action remakes has been released over the past decade at a slow pace with an average of one movie per year. Alright, I mean that's pretty decent, right? But then we come to 2019. Holy shit, we have Aladdin, Dumbo, Lion King, Maleficent 2, even Kim Possible, and maybe even Lady and the Tramp. That's at least 4 remakes this year alone. Because I'm not really including Kim Possible since it's a made for TV movie. I mean, goddamn, that's a lot of remakes, and guess who's gonna be making a few $1 billion? That's right, freaking Disney. And not to mention that Endgame is just around the corner, and the final chapter of Star Wars drops this December. And those two movies alone are gonna make at least $1 billion each. Well, unless the Star Wars fanbase gave up on the franchise after the failure of Solo as well as The Last Jedi. Right now, I'm predicting that Disney are going to be making at least $6 billion easily just from their films. It's insane. It really is. Alright, let's talk a little bit in depth about each of the remakes, and of course, I'm gonna start with the biggest atrocity in 2019, which is Kim Possible. Just from watching the trailers, I just knew this was gonna be a shitfest. Even the like to dislike ratio is not all that surprising. 41k likes? Alright, not too bad, it has some fans. But wait, let's not forget the 158k dislikes, and I'm betting my life that all these likes are from the kids who never watched the OG Kim Possible cartoon. Oh my god, was it good. And you might be thinking that I'm probably the worst movie reviewer on the internet for claiming a movie is bad just by judging it by the trailer. But hold up, let me explain. It was a fine Saturday afternoon. I woke up to a chilling breeze that grazed over my legs. I was feeling hungry and decided to eat some toast, have a cup of hot coffee, and watch some TV. I was scrolling through the channels with my eyes barely opened as I was sipping on my freshly brewed coffee. I saw it. Kim Possible was live on Disney Channel. I wiped off the smidge of coffee froth on my upper lip and decided to face my fears, and without doing much thinking, I instantly pressed the OK button on my white remote control that was moist with the sweat of my palms greasing all over it. To my horror, there it was, the live action Kim Possible movie with all its horrid glory reflecting on my black face. The thought of killing myself went through my mind for the 13 minutes of runtime that I managed to get through. But no, I said to myself, I had a wife to take care of, beautiful kids, a job, and responsibilities. My rational side of my brain turned on, and a swift movement of my stubby hands grabbed the remote and turned off the TV. To my relief, the torture was finally over. I was indeed scarred, but my therapist assured me that all things can be healed or forgotten over time. Okay, fine, I don't have a wife or kids since I'm only 20 and I did not see a therapist, but seriously, it was absolutely horrid. I watched it like 20 minutes into the film and my god, it was just as bad as the trailers. The thing that I noticed in the 13 minutes that I had seen was number one, Wade is not Wade, a total miscast. The actor who played Ron somewhat sounds like Ron, so that's fine, I guess. And the actress who played Kim Possible has talent, I mean, there's no doubt about that. However, the material and the direction given is horrendous. Draken looks like shit, Shigo is meh, and everything else really doesn't work. At this point, I really don't know if Kim Possible ever had hope of being a live action movie, cause let's be honest, some things just need to be left alone. Just because it was successful as a cartoon does not mean it's gonna succeed if you make it to a live action film. I mean, I get it, I can't be too hard on this film since it was made for TV, but it really is depressing that, the newer generation's first impression of Kim Possible would be this piece of shit. I mean, just do us all a favor and delete this from existence before I do an in-depth review, and trust me, I will shit all over it, and then of course proceed to get a fraudulent copyright claim for giving a negative review. Thank you, Disney. Thank you very much. Alright, let's all just be honest for a second and admit that this is probably the most pointless sequel that nobody asked for. Literally, nobody asked for this, Disney. Oh wait, nobody asked for Solo and we got it anyways, and the consequences? Well, it freaking bombed because it was the most bland Star Wars movie ever made. Yeah, even more bland than The Last Jedi. Maleficent 2 is a clear cash grab, and guess what? I'm gonna be watching it anyways since I pretty much watch every movie. And nobody even asked for the first installment, and now you're giving us a sequel. Okay, Disney, okay. Alright, so the original wasn't too bad, it was bearable and quite watchable actually, thanks to Angelina Jolie and her incredible cheekbones, as well as my little crush on Elle Fanning. And yeah, that was pretty much the only reason why I watched the entire movie. If you guys don't know the story of Maleficent, well, it's basically a dark rehash of Sleeping Beauty. And yeah, it has a little twist, but do we really need a sequel? Well, the answer is no. No, we don't. Disney really are horny for live action remakes in 2019, aren't they? And let's just hope they're gonna be getting back a bukake of profit from all of this. Lion King, one of the greatest animated films of all time. I mean, everything about the film really is iconic, from the investing characters, a great story, as well as an incredible musical score. Lion King really did everything right, and since ideas were running out at Disney, they decided to make a damn live action reboot while following the movie beat for beat. I mean, every frame, every scene, every single detail is an exact rehash just based on the trailers. And once again, this is such a blatant cash grab. But at least we know it's going to be good, because we're basically going to be watching the exact same movie but with CGI animals this time. And I'll admit, this is the remake that I'm sort of on board with for three reasons. First off, we have an incredible cast that's going to be doing the voiceovers, and then next up is the visuals in the trailer, which looks exceptional, and not to mention the cinematography is absolutely top notch. The details that they've put into these animals are a real thing of beauty, and now I think this might be the only aspect that I'm going to enjoy more than the original animated film, because I really am a sucker for great visuals. I really am. And the reason number three why I'm on board with this remake is because they're not gonna change the story. And when you mess with an already classic story, it's more than likely you're gonna screw it up. So Disney swerved towards the good old safe route and decided for a simple copy and paste. I mean, I really don't mind it because I get to watch the freaking Lion King in glorious IMAX and cry once again watching Mufasa fall off that cliff. So to sum it up, this is probably gonna be the best remake of the year, but on the other hand, it is still incredibly lazy as well from the talent at Disney. Will Smith looks stupid when he's blue, and I really hope they just keep him as his natural skin color for most of the movie, and I think my only sort of problem would be solved. Once again, Disney is doing it right with the visuals. The teaser trailer was 2 minutes of nothingness, but the trailer too was good. And I'm a huge fan of Aladdin, and really the most memorable thing, of course, was the incredible Robin Williams as Genie. Genie has such a pivotal role in providing humor for a somewhat serious film at times, especially with the antagonist Jafar being as sinister as he was in the animated film, and I think Will Smith is a really good choice. I mean, who doesn't love Will Smith other than the 15 million people on YouTube Rewind? But my point is, in my humble opinion, this was a great casting choice. Obviously, it's gonna be a huge hurdle to replace the late great Robin Williams, but who better than Will Smith? I mean, the actor and actress that plays Aladdin and Jasmine respectively are fine, no problems there. Abu looks really good, and something I'm concerned about is Jafar. Didn't get to see much of him in the trailer, but I remember how evil and scary he was in the animated films. I really hope they don't tone him down here because we need that nice dynamic of humor from Will Smith and a sinister storyline with Jafar. So it does look like they're going to be using the same story from what I can recall, and there might be a few little tweaks, but I guess we'll soon find out. After watching Dumbo a couple weeks ago, my biggest fear for these remakes came true. Now, it might not be what you think, cause actually I gave Dumbo a rating of B minus out of a scale from an F all the way to an A plus, so you can say it's kind of above average. Despite all the effort put into the film, especially with the visuals, colors, and the details of the CGI effects, they couldn't make the uneventful story of Dumbo come to life. As I said in my review, the story of Dumbo isn't the most exciting in the world and, kind of making it difficult for the writers to work with, but that's no excuse to give a cliched and predictable story with the highlight of the film, Dumbo, just flying around the circus tent over and over and over again. I mean, yeah, sure, it's cool to look at, but is that it? I mean, what else do you have for us? Despite the second half of the film being a bit different, I felt that it was still kind of contained and there was no sense of adventure that could have easily been injected into the storyline for a fresh take on the story. Now that I think about it, I might just reduce my grade cause I might have been in a good mood the other day and not realizing how lazy the creative team were working on this film. I might have, had a lapse of judgment and gave this film probably a grade too high. I mean, we all know you guys have the talent to come up with some original ideas, but I think it really falls down to the people, up top calling all the shots. Yes, Bob Iger, let's get a billion more pointless remakes, cause that's essentially what we all really want, right guys? Now that I think about it, who actually asked for a remake of Dumbo? Exactly, no one. It's so evident that this is one upon the many pointless upcoming remakes just existing to fill the pockets of these greedy corporates. Alright, before I completely lose my voice, I'm gonna wrap things up here. So, remakes and reboots of films are, taking over the film industry whether you like it or not. It really is inevitable that this is gonna be a norm, especially in the upcoming year when the creative team's ideas are running really dry. But once again, I'm gonna remind you that I don't exactly hate remakes, but what really concerns us is if the movie is gonna be any good. Is there a point to the release? Did you at least shake a few things up and not retell the exact same story? Disney is no doubt one of the biggest entertainment companies out there, but right now I'm a bit concerned with where they're taking their films. Marvel seems to be a bit shaky, especially with all the backlash from some fans regarding the whole Brie Larson controversy. The Star Wars fan base is more divided than ever, and the fact that all you're doing is making pointless remakes and just shoving these pointless political agendas down our throats, it's not looking good, guys. It really isn't. Disney. You're literally walking on eggshells at the moment, and I think it may be good to listen to some of your rational fans every now and then again. And I understand that you're making billions of dollars a year, and the opinion of one person doesn't really matter, but the problem is, I'm not the only one that's concerned. So yeah, I think I've pretty much flushed out everything that I needed to say about Disney and their remakes, and of course, taking a few hits at Star Wars as well as Brie Larson and this whole stupid political agenda shit. And yeah, I think that's about it for today. And most importantly, I want to know your thoughts on all of this. Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever. Just leave all your thoughts down in the comment section. And yeah, I really enjoy doing these podcasts. I might do more in the future. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.